Welcome to PricePlow. My name is Mike. Today is the day we go beyond the pump because we have Unbent with Unbound's stimulant-free pre-workout supplement meant for the pump and nothing but the pump. We have cell hydration pumps, we have nitric oxide pumps, we have nitrate pumps, and we have some other, we have ACE inhibition coming here. A lot of stuff to cover. So I have a 1-minute video. If you just really want quickly the hype, everything, I love this stuff. It's fantastic. It is immediately in the top tier of pre-workout pump supplements with all the other best. A lot of them are doing similar things here, and this is Mark Glazier and NutraBio's extra brand where they're getting a little bit more aggressive with stuff, and this is their take on it, and it is a smashing formula. Right down to it, uncomfortable pumps. Like if you like the uncomfortable pump on arm day, try this. So in this video, I wanted to just talk about the ingredients and get into some of the reasons why we have such different pathways. The pathways are in this pump are not just like different pathways, but they're in different regions of the body too. So we have a lot of things going around here. And if one pathway doesn't work for you, I can almost guarantee something else is. So like I said, uncomfortable pumps. So let's get into it. But yeah, if you're watching on YouTube or Instagram, we do have a 1-minute video where I just go crazy if you don't want to hear all the science. We also have a blog post that is on blog.priceplow.com, coupon code PricePlow, and that's where I have to say that this product was sent for free. It was sent for free in a big barrel, which is kind of awesome. And we do have a business affiliate relationship with NutraBio. Nothing yet with Unbound, actually, so they are completely, I think they're a different entity. Anyway, but it was sent for free, so understand that. But man, when you look at this formula, it's open source, I'm such a software geek. It is open formula, full disclosure, down to the amount of sucralose here. I'll tell you right off the bat, there's 189 milligrams of sucralose in here. They got down to the perfection on the flavoring. So just looking at this formula, you know it's gonna be badass. But let's talk about how badass. So starting off the bat, you're gonna see some vitamins and minerals, and that's gonna help synergize with some of the other ingredients. I'm gonna skip those for now. We'll jump right into 4-gram dose of L-citrulline, which is a beyond clinical dose. We've seen larger, we've seen smaller, but this is just the beginning. Now, for those of you who don't know, L-citrulline is an amino acid that gets converted to L-arginine and actually works better as a nitric oxide pump agent than arginine itself, because arginine, if you just supplement that, like back when I was starting off in the early 2000s, yep, I'm getting old. Back when I was starting in the early 2000s, arginine was a nitric oxide ingredient. Unfortunately, it gets broken down by the small intestine, this first pass effect, and a lot of it gets broken down before it can get to its job of actually boosting nitric oxide. L-citrulline bypasses that and then gets converted to arginine in the kidneys. So we're going to talk about different areas of the body, like I said, in the kidneys. Then from there, we have a lot of bioavailable arginine that can then boost nitric oxide levels through the nitric oxide synthase pathway, and boom, 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 citrulline is now the de facto nitric oxide pump supplement. We almost nearly expect it every time to start a formula with it. And the clinical dose is typically 3 grams. We got to go to 4 grams here, of course, and that is just the beginning. Now, don't let me talk too much trash on arginine, because I still do like it, and we are going to see it. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to skip around this label here, because we are going to switch. We're going to stay on the nitric oxide type of level. So we are going to use 2 different nitrates. And but Unbound is using 2 different nitrates, and what we have is a 1.5 gram dose of arginine nitrate, my favorite one, and then my second favorite one, 1.5 grams of betaine nitrate. Overall, this is basically the max amount of nitrates you're going to want to get an entire day. Like no two scooping this. I'm talking about 1 scoop doses, and this is 3 grams of nitrate a day. That's about as high as I want to go. Maybe some big boys, big fellas want to go higher. At some point, like you're going to get like lower blood pressure. Like it's just, don't get too crazy beyond this. 3 grams seems to be where we're maxing out, and this is after like over a decade of use of nitrates. It seems like that's where we're peaking out, and of course Unbound's going max. Now arginine nitrate's pretty cool, because like I said, we do have some ability for arginine to create its own nitric oxide, but here we're really talking about the nitrates. And what's interesting, we dig into this in the blog post for Unbent, and what happens is that there is a feedback system through the salivary glands where the nitrite comes back into the saliva and helps you produce more nitric oxide. So it's a completely different mechanism in a different place in the body than you actually get from citrulline or arginine, for instance. So the nitrates have a completely different, independent of nitric oxide synthase way of having more nitric oxide pumps. And so like I said, if one pathway doesn't get you, this one probably will. A lot of people get insane pumps from this mechanism. Now, way back in the day when we were starting to test nitrates, there was a certain product, when they did their marketing, they said know that we were doing a beta test. They said, don't drink mouthwash. Any of you old timers remember that? Don't drink mouthwash during this. We don't want to mess up the pathway. And so some people who are smart, they kind of figured out, oh, this is like the nitrite pathway. And that it was the first time we started seeing some big doses of nitrates. And that was probably 2011, 2010. And we're still going strong a decade later. So they don't no longer talk about mouthwash, but it was just kind of interesting. Little bit of fun fact back there for us old timers. Now let's get back to the top of the label. We're going to talk about our trifecta. We have three, I could actually make an argument, 4 different hydration-based pump ingredients. So this is one of the supplements you're definitely going to want to keep hydrated and drink a lot of water, and then that hydration can help provide cellular hydration, and you get that like water pump, that little swole feeling. It just feels good and may give you a little bit extra endurance as well. And that's going to come first off from the betaine. Now first we have betaine anhydrous at 1.54 grams. The clinical dose, however, what's with this weird number? The clinical dose is 2.5 grams per day per the Tangelo studies where they're showing muscle building, especially in the arms, leg strength increases, tons of, and there's lots of different research on various athletic parameters at some higher doses. But what's with the 1.54? We want 2.5 grams per day. Well, we also have, of course, betaine nitrate, like I said. And if you do the math, you're ending up with a 2.5 gram dose of betaine in finality. So I love when supplement brands do this. And of course, Unbound, they're getting after it with clinical doses. Like they found a way to simultaneously peak out the betaine, not peak out the betaine, peak out the nitrates, but also go clinical on the betaine and still have arginine nitrate here. So that's how the blend worked out. 1.54 grams of betaine plus the betaine from betaine nitrate. We are at 2.5 grams. And then you have all the benefits that come along with that. Betaine is also known as trimethylglycine. It's in spinach. So the whole, Popeye story, kind of true, but it's always good to get a little bit more, especially if you're not eating some of the plants that have a ton of betaine inside. And it is an osmolyte that helps your body keep a water balance between the cells. And that comes up for taurine as well, which we consider, it's called a conditionally essential amino acid. We can kind of produce it, we can get it from food, but it just happens that if we have more, things go a lot better. And that has to do with not just endurance, but we get that little water pump, and then we also see cognitive function as well. So taurine is an incredible ingredient here, and we do have the clinical dose of 1 gram in each scoop. So that's the second of our hydrating pump ingredients. And then finally, we have a gram of HydroPrime glycerol, 65% glycerol from NB Nutrition. And we got on NB and told them, hey man, a lot of these glycerol ingredients are clumping too much and they're gritty, and a lot of them weren't testing out. But as you know, with NutraBio and Unbound, the uncompromising nature where they test incoming materials, they test their outgoing, they get it third-party lab tested. You can check it out at, checkmyselfs.com, should be listed somewhere here. You can check it out, checkmyselfs.com, put in the lot, and you'll see some of the lab tests there. Anyway, there's a problem with glycerol out there. NAB Nutrition is working to solve it. And so we have a gram of the glycerol powder, not the biggest dose by any means. I don't want to make too many claims, but it does the same thing. It keeps us hydrated. I've made several videos about this because I love this stuff. It helps us urinate a little bit less. We hold on to our water, get better pumps. And so that's the third of our ingredients with the water-based pump. And then we could also argue that the sodium coming from Himalayan pink sea salt, the pink sea salt, 250 milligrams provides the sodium. So I think a lot of us who are like athletes have been through the ringer, listening to the propaganda against sodium. And listen, if you are one of the few hyper responders where sodium causes high blood pressure, honestly, I still don't worry because all these other ingredients are gonna kind of negate that. But very few people actually get blood pressure problems from sodium. That was a load of BS propaganda, one of the many things that we've been lied to about. So anyway, don't fear the sodium. I think most athletes know that. When we sweat a lot, like I am right now, actually, you can probably see that. When we sweat a lot, we lose not only water, we lose all of our, not all, but a lot of electrolytes as well, and performance goes down. Replace the electrolytes, sodium. I would even go as far as saying you should add some potassium as well. I'm a big potassium proponent. And And with pink Himalayan sea salt, you're going to also get some of the trace minerals as well. Like there might be a smidge of iodine and a little tiny bit of iron. And it's just good to get in general, as opposed to just getting like straight up sodium chloride, which is salt. So we have 250 milligrams of that. And I could argue that that's going to add a little bit of cell hydration as well, because you don't want to just keep drinking water. And so we've been through that. You know, Ben talks about it all the time on this channel. Loves his hydration more than anyone. I'm a little bit more basic, but yes, I agree. So where are we on the label? Now, the next thing, we have another pathway to hit, and this is actually through ACE inhibition. Now, ACE inhibition, it's kind of been in the news lately, and I suggest that you look into this pathway a little bit for other reasons, but let's not get into that right here. One of the things that, so the ingredient that we have here is VasoDrive-AP, and it's actually twice the normal dose. Usually we see 254 milligrams. Unbound's betting big on this one. They are going over a half a gram of this stuff, twice the dosage at 508 milligrams. So half a gram of VasoDrive-AP. And this is standardized for IPP and VPP. And we have some research showing that IPP and VPP can lower vasoconstriction by downregulating the ACE enzyme, which causes vasoconstriction. So getting that down. This is kind of becoming important lately, folks. Might want to look into it. Don't need to go into certain areas, but what we're looking for is we're looking for less vasoconstriction. So we have yet another pathway that's hit, and there's still one more to go on top of nitric oxide, on top of the nitrate, on top of the hydration, on top of ACE inhibition. We finally have something more local to the vascular structure, and that's grape seed extract. And that's a pretty big dose here, 300 milligrams of grape seed extract. It's a high standardization, 95% proanthocyanidins. And so we have these polyphenols that work more locally on the endothelial nitric oxide synthase system. So maybe kind of similar pathway as arginine. However, it is local to the endothelium, and it is helping to boost nitric oxide levels locally at the vascular structure, giving us this like it's a supporting ingredient. I'm not going crazy on the grapeseed extract. I go crazy on the citrulline, double nitrate, double, triple, quadruple hydration pumps and everything. But then, yes, I love that we have some helper ingredients such as the grapeseed extract to get us a little bit more local support. Like seriously, if you aren't getting a pump off this stuff, you need to either like boost the volume, and I'm not the most pumpy guy either, let's be honest, but this stuff's absurd. If you're not getting a pump here, you need to drink more water, you need to get better sleep, you need to maybe eat more carbs, or you need to like work on your form or something like that, because this stuff is downright absurd, and there's all these different ways it's hitting it. And finally, we have to mention, as is almost in every video that we have here, there is a new Live Science ingredient, and we're talking about estrogen, 50 milligrams, a standard dose. This is from astragalus and Panax noda ginseng, and what they're doing here is that they are increasing the gut's permeability. And so what they're doing is that they're increasing some of the transporters that help us transport a lot of these amino acids, and it is especially useful in amino acids. We do have some data from New Live Science themselves that shows various ingredients that are boosted by estrogen, and one of them is L-citrulline. So I personally, looking at this, it's like healthy for the gut. There's a lot of benefits for this. I'd like to see it in more gut health supplements, to be honest. I think it'll help boost nearly every ingredient. We don't have as much data on the minerals, the sea salt and stuff like that. I hopefully someday we'll see some of that stuff. However, we do have data for the citrulline itself, and that's right here in the supplement. So you're gonna get a little bit more transport from the ingredients you have with estrogen. We've covered it a lot, so I probably don't need to talk about it too much on this channel. Subscribe to the channel if you want. And then the 3 flavors, as of right now, as I make this video, we do have 3 flavors here. So that's the supplement. We have 3 flavors. I here have the Tangelo flavors. This is like an orange tangerine type flavor for the citrus fans. They've also launched with the grape lychee and the mojito flavor. And so I do have the mojito in the unlock. So now we're gonna talk about stacking. I do have mojito in unlock, and that's the fat burning powder. And the next question is, or do you stack it with unload, where I do have the grape lychee? So I've seen all the flavor systems. So it's a pretty, like a very aggressive brand with some very unique flavors. And Tangelo is really good. I'll be honest, I've stacked this with, for whatever reason, so I add creatine to this, and it gets a little bit more like orange cream soda like. I am not a citrus person, so I actually add creatine, and for whatever reason, you get more orange cream soda. And to me, that's like where the flavor is at. So it's like, I'm not a citrus guy, and I like found a way to make it my own. However, this mojito flavor system is really cool too. So I'm not sure how that'll translate between the fat burner and this one, but either way, this stuff uncomfortably pumped up through so many different pathways. You got to check your pulse. You're not going to get a pump from this stuff. That's all I got to say. So Unbound, Mark Glazier and his team at NutraBio knocked it out of the park. I'm very excited about this. We have a ton of citations on the blog post at blog.priceplow.com, and that's it. Hopefully someday there'll be a coupon code PricePlow for Unbound supplements, but for now it is still at the local retailers, and eventually it'll be sold online. Support your local business, folks. That's what it's all about. Stay strong in the community, and everyone have a great day. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, and that's it. Peace.
Welcome to PricePlow.